Welcome back, guys, to the Quarter Hour Spark. I'm Callum.
Yeah, Roger.
Seamus.
Bronwyn.
Okay, guys, so we're going to go straight into the second topic here.
All
so, Roger, would you like to give me a suggestion between 1 to 20?
18.
18. 18.
Just in case you didn't know, Callum.
18 is, a book that we need to read.
Oh, yeah, there's quite a lot of those.
A book. Hang on, I'll just start the timer, guys. So, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A book that I need to read, there's loads on my list, but one I'm thinking of is called Moonwalking with Einstein, and it's all about improving your memory. I have a particularly bad memory, and
Sorry, who are you?
I have no idea, man. No idea. Yeah, and I wouldn't mind. Apparently, it's pretty good. I wouldn't mind reading it.
Okay.
I don't know much more about it. But I'll let you guys know. I'll get it and read it.
Awesome. Seamus, do you have any books you need to read?
That I need to read.
Did I need to read?
I was elected to lead, not to read. There's a few that I've been told to read. I can't exactly remember until I've been told to read
I think it's Moonwalking with Einstein. I think that's the book as well. I think you need to read that one too.
Do you ever have that one when a friend's like, "Oh, you got to read this book"? And you're like, "You have to read this book." And then you read it, and they're like, "Oh, it's so good, isn't it?" And you're like, "It was alright." And they're like, "What? It's the best thing ever." I had that with Fault in Our Stars, which, John Green, if you're listening, I absolutely love it. I really, really like it as a book.
It's alright.
But I was told by everyone, everybody, to read that book.
Yeah.
Do you watch the Vlogbrothers as well, Callum?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Every so often.
Because he was doing the signings of the books and everything. But you know, I wouldn't say that's his best book.
No.
Yeah, he does better ones.
What's this book about? I haven't read it.
You've never read Fault in Our
Oh, it
Stars?
has-
I guess I have to read
It's
it.
a big blockbuster that came out like a month
It's
ago.
it's the one.
Falling Stars? What?
Fault in Our Stars. It's about Hazel Grace that had cancer and how she deals with it.
Ah.
And I think it was really good because it brought cancer as a mainstream thing, if you get what I mean. It dealt with it in terms of teenagers instead of adults, because you imagine it to be an adult thing,
Yeah.
a big scary adult problem that you don't know to deal with. I don't know.
It's worth reading, I've got to say. One thing that was really interesting was my mum and I both read it, right? And she found a whole new level of... Sorry to depress you guys first thing on Friday morning, guys, but my mum found a whole new level of sadness from the book, from the idea of the parent, rather than me, obviously, who associates more with younger kids. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
But back to the happier stuff.
Yeah.
Book I need to read. Tons of books.
Yeah,
Tons and tons
Well,
of books.
I've remembered what book I was told to read.
There you go.
As my dad's an English teacher, so he just always rattles them off.
If you're listening, Mr. Seamus, we love you.
Mr. Trimble.
You mean your name isn't Seamus?
What's with that?
You lied to me, buddy.
No, Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were told in an English lecture to read that about 15 times.
I know.
So.
I'm not massive on my period drama type ones. I'm just kind of.
It's not your time of the
It can
month.
get quite dry, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
We talking about books here? Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Wuthering Heights? Is that a book that you would read?
But we
I've already read it.
It's a book he has.
We have to read that.
We have to read that.
Unfortunately.
I'm going to pass it up to Seamus to give his little rant on why he doesn't like Wuthering Heights.
On you go, Seamus.
With Wuthering Heights, it's just it is dire. It's
That's all that's needed to be said.
I knew.
just because
I'm putting that on.
just because someone says, "Oh, it's meant to be read," and you're not meant to like the characters, that's a good book. I say no. You know,
It's meant to be read, but you're not meant to like the characters.
that's what apparently we're told.
It's
Yeah.
very.
Quite a lot.
It is.
Oh,
very,
no.
Don't put it right up. No.
Not right up.
Goodness me.
This has been haunting me.
I really hope to spare our
yeah.
listeners, from this song.
Apparently not. Yeah.
No, it's a very well written book, though. You have to admit that. It's a very well written book.
Well, it's a frame narrative, which
Oh,
I find it confusing anyway. Which, for all those that don't know this, it's a narrative, a story within a story. within a story.
Storyception.
Storyception. Yeah.
Reception is fun sometimes.
Fun's
Yeah.
a very strong word for some of these classical books.
If the story's interesting, you know.
Oh, boys, Treasure Island.
Ooh.
Now, call me old-fashioned,
Ooh, I've
right?
never read that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I've read like a part of it. Yeah.
Long John Silver, guys. That was a
And then the black spot.
Roger can't talk. The black splash.
Yeah, no, yeah, I remember finding that terrifying as a kid. I was really scared that, like, you know, I'd get some mail or something with the black spot.
The black spot. It's chosen you. I think a question we have to go bring to the point of view of our listeners is a book that we recommend them to read.
Yeah. What you recommended me to read, and it's a book I have to read, is The Road, right?
The Road, yeah.
Yeah. I actually really want to get on that.
It's a good film. Is that the one with Viggo Mortensen in it?
I don't know. It's the
Is it the guy who plays Aragon?
Yeah,
in Lord
yeah,
of the-
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good film.
Yeah, but I bet the ambience of the book is just...
It's very dark.
Books are amazing, absolutely amazing. It's very, very dark though.
Yeah.
The thing I like about it so much is that, is the interaction between the son and the husband, and how tons of it is just like these monosyllabic sentences.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's just it's absolutely savage. It's
like
a horrible
The kid
book.
is just... Okay.
yeah. It's
So
great.
you're saying it's a horrible book, but the story is very addictive.
Yeah, I think so, because the
You care about the boy in this.
you do
the dad.
you genuinely want them. It's like the opposite of Wuthering Heights. You
Yeah.
genuinely want everyone to survive.
Oh, burn. You know.
I love you, Bronte.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I think that's really special in something in a book where you really care about the characters, and it's not just trivial, irrational kind of bullshit. And you think, I don't care about your drama, your stories. That was a hard thing for me as a kid, is finding relatable books worth investing. You know,
Emotional investment. Yeah.
I find it hard to care.
Well, one good way of telling that you've been emotionally traumatized by a book is when you get to the last page of the last book of the last series, and you're just like, where do I
over.
go in life now? You know.
Do you have a series in general? You talking about
Oh,
Harry Potter or
Oh no, my favourite's got to be Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
What, you cried at the last page of the Lord of the Rings book?
Just the whole universe. I love the films too, but I love the books.
His book is actually stained with the tears of his youth.
Yeah.
Did you read The Hobbit as well?
I've read The Hobbit too. Yeah, the Tolkien is just such an interesting author. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the if you're like me, I love lore, which is all the history of the writing, and he just gives you that in swaths. I mean, I don't know how many languages he invented.
Yeah, it's mental.
It's something ridiculous.
Are they
like-
full-on languages?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
like
You can learn Elvish.
How do you do that? And they
Dwarvish
must be
sometimes.
limited, though. They must.
There's
They
types
not.
of Elvish,
They can't be
yeah.
as developed
Just
as.
take
Yeah,
Elvish.
they're not as
That's-
developed as English, but they are.
because they're not spoken.
Yeah.
But no,
Hmm.
he because that's what he did. Was it Oxford? I think, or Cambridge he went
I
to.
think so.
That's what he was. He was a professor of linguistics.
Linguistics, okay.
So he was always really interested in it.
Just for the record, guys, he didn't teach his students Elvish.
No.
What does Elvish sound like? Can you do a bit, Seamus?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, I can't.
No, not today.
I can write my name
I know
in
high or
Elvish.
something like
Oh really?
Does that count?
No, no, it doesn't. No kidding.
Can the radio listeners see your writing, Bronwyn?
Well, I will put
Then
up
no,
on
it doesn't
the,
count.
I will put it up on the Facebook page, is what will happen.
That's what we'll do.
No, but I like you, Seamus, I like how in depth he went. He must have, before the books, came up with this whole universe, wrote it out,
Oh yeah.
wrote out the history of the land, and then wrote the book.
Well, the thing is, these books he wrote for himself, no one else. It was purely his love child. That's what he wrote them, and I think I remember hearing something crazy. The first part of The Hobbit, he rewrote like 50 times. He was never happy
Seriously?
with it. He'd like get to a certain point and be like, instead of just like, oh, I'll take this bit out and take this bit out, he'd just like, no, I'll start again.
Jeez, that's commitment on the author's part.
Well,
I know for a
because,
fact.
you know, he wasn't there to write for money. He was just writing for himself.
Yeah. I know for a fact that when you start writing something, Roger was speaking about the emotional investment in books. I think that also comes from writing books. When you start doing something, you create these characters, and you do care for them, and you want them to. Maybe you don't want them to be safe, but you want them to be as best described as possible. You want
to give them justice.
Yeah, you want the audience to share this experience which is in your head.
Yeah.
That's what for me. That's what writing is. It's about sharing what's in your head with other people.
Yeah, it definitely gives away a part of yourself, whether you want to or not.
I don't think it gives it away. I think you share it instead.
Okay.
We're all touchy feely here on QHS.
Shared. Because if you don't intend to be expressing yourself so much, or let the reader have such an insight in towards your mind necessarily, but you can't help it. There's no getting away from that. I think you will always tell a part of your story as well as the story of your book.
No, that's very true. Actually, I like that. Kind of like it too. What about biographies and stuff, guys? What do you think about those?
Biographies. I'm not entirely sure if I've actually read any. I may have dabbled in a.
Anne Frank.
No.
That's a sort of.
Not really. No, I've not.
It's quite famous, you know.
Yeah, I know it is.
as far as books go.
But I've not. I don't know. I don't think I have. Or maybe I've dabbled in a few, but I've not actually read the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe I'm interested in other celebrities' lives.
Yeah.
So that's why I never read them. If it was someone like influential that I believed was a role model for me, then I probably would read it.
Stephen Fry's is really good.
Yeah,
The Fry
I would probably
Chronicles.
read Stephen Fry's, but say Katie Price's. Maybe not.
Yeah, one book that I really recommend, and this is not so much a biography, but a man's diary. It's Marcus Aurelius' Meditations.
Okay.
And Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor.
Is this the one you were telling me about earlier?
Yeah, and
this is great.
He's
guys.
a philosopher and a stoic, and it's so insane. He's the most powerful man in the world. This guy actually exists, and he's just writing about the most genuine, humble things in his diary, and it's very impressionable, and he has a very good outlook, I think, on life.
What was his name?
Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great name. Can you imagine a baby? It's like, what's your child's name? My baby is called Marcus Aurelius. The kids, it's like
The Romans had good names, didn't they?
They did, yeah. And it's like, what's your name? John.
John Smith.
John Smith.
Yeah.
John Snow.
Gordon Brown.
Gordon Brown.
That's quite a generic name.
It's better than Ed Bowles, put it that way.
Yeah.
My goodness.
You hear about him? He was playing a charity football game and he totally busted up a reporter's face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On accident?
A friendly tackle, apparently.
A friendly tackle. I think you should write a book about that, Seamus.
So we're heading up to the last minute. So final summaries. Callum?
Last minute, are we?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Time flies when you're having fun with you guys. I'd say final thing would be
one book
books.
that you recommend to the audience.
What I would say, can I say two? Because I did a dissertation on this, but I'd say, it's cliche, but 1984 and Brave New World, because especially Brave New World, it's Brave New World I think is more fun to read than 1984, but they both have this really important message, and they have these totally different takes on dystopias and utopias. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, I strongly recommend Brave New World and 1984.
Is one quite hopeful and the other... I know, I've read 1984, but
they're actually,
Brave New World is...
It's really interesting because they're both hopeless but in completely different ways. Completely different ways. Again, read it. Brave New World, guys.
Brave New World.
Get on it.
Yeah, for me, definitely Lord of the Rings. If you do like your in-depth knowledge of the characters and the universe that they live in, it's definite must read. The whole series, not just one book. The whole series.
You must read them all.
And I'm gonna check out some philosophy, guys. Like look into some Stoicism and a guy called Eckhart Tolle. He's had a pretty big influence on me, and I don't doubt that he would have an influence on you guys as well. Totally changed perspective of the world for the better.
Awesome.
And I would say The Plays of Oscar Wilde. It's not really a book, but let's not go into Oscar Wilde just now.